Hey, I'm Saving Content Zone Ed Acosta, and welcome to dotEXE, a Saving Content podcast. It's episode 14, and joining me on Justin Timberlake's most favoritist of months is the belated happy birthday boy, Eric Acosta.
Hey, it's gonna be May.
Yes,
May. I love that. It's the best thing ever with his what is it? Ramen haircut.
Right, the big curly hair that he's got going on.
It's great.
So, also joining us today is a very lovely lady who has a lot to say with the topics that she has brought with her today.
Hot takes.
Hot takes. It's Des.
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Gonna be a good evening.
Hey, Banang. It's gonna be great. I had got me a bold rock, as I believe you do too.
Oh, are we talking drinks? Because guess what?
Yeah. What you got?
I don't know what that was, but I just opened a can of Truly.
That's amazing. You opened a can of Truly and you got songs coming out of it?
I guess that was weird. It was a sign from above.
What was that, Des?
I swore my sound was down. My friends are at a concert.
That was too good.
That was like almost like it was planned, and I promise you, fans or listeners, it was not.
Oh, set those sights so high.
Right?
Fans of the podcast.
Right?
Also known as Genevieve and her friends.
Hello, Genevieve and her friends.
Yeah.
We're talking about you on this podcast.
Right?
Yeah, that was... I fully came in here thinking, I'm going to start this off. I'm going to crack open a Truly and be like, yeah, I'm getting some drinks. You guys have already gotten drinks. This was not planned, so that's pretty cool. And then
I've already done my
music.
drink.
Well, I just opened mine, obviously, because a chorus came out of it.
We're just
the sound of
delicious.
Right.
I am drinking the mango chili.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is very good. It is my last one.
I would prefer to have that in a 12-pack.
Right?
Yes.
Just putting that out there, Trulies, please.
So the place that I go to get the mead, it is Total Wine. Next to the mead section, they have like individual cans and bottles that you can just kind of make your own packs. They have the Trulies individually. Now, granted, you're going to pay a little more because you're doing them individually. But if you want a pack of 12, you can get a pack of 12.
You can such
you
pack.
can do a full 12.
I think you do a carrier of 6, so you just get 2 carriers, and then it's whatever the mix price is.
Right.
Twice.
Gotcha. Which is like a couple cents more.
I think it's a little more than a couple cents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course.
But
a la carte
that's
is
because yeah, it's a la carte, and that's because they have so many different varieties. So, you could end up with an expensive one or a really cheap one.
Oh yeah.
And I hate, but I love doing a la carte stuff because I'm always trying to min-max. It's like, okay, what here costs the most that I can get the most bang for my buck?
Even if I don't
like
necessarily want it. Exactly.
Right. I just know that one's going to be more worthwhile. I'm going to stick to the man. Yes, I'm going to beat the system.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I would, if I did a lot of a la carte stuff, I would do the same thing too. I don't, but yeah, if I did, I would certainly do the same thing.
Well, other than some delicious beverages, or a beveragino, as a cousin of ours tends to elegantly put it.
Beveragino.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, I'll go ahead and go first because I have a lot.
Is that the smart choice then?
Well, I mean, I'm going to run through them fairly quick.
Let's go.
Because obviously, we did have a skip, right? In
oh
our podcast.
yeah, we
kind of want to.
Let's explain that, I guess, for anybody who actually cares. So we did record a 14. So I guess if you want to call it, this is a 14B.
Yeah.
14A. The audio did not turn out as well as I had hoped. And after much headache trying to get it to clean it up, I've decided we'll just skip a week and we'll record again. So there is a secret episode hanging out somewhere. Ooh. Whether or not it'll get released, I doubt it.
It's that bad audio.
I still need to send it to you, Eric, so you can hear it.
Yeah.
The content was good. The echo and such was not.
But because of that, we've had 2 weeks of conversation things that we can talk about. Material, which is normally in most other podcasts would be a wealth of information and a plenty of stories. Yeah. However, in this with mine, it's not.
It's all the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff because I apparently am a gamer who does not change the games he plays.
So let me guess, without looking at the list, SnowRunner, Pokemon.
How did you know? How did you know?
Hey, my list is very short because of travel and work. So take all the time that you need.
Well, so yeah, like always, I've been playing SnowRunner. I did invest time in getting a mod that added a truck that kind of cheats, but doesn't, like, if you're a diehard SnowRunner enthusiast who's all about like making your own GPS mapping, this would be a cheat because
does it do GPS?
No, so it's just like you can kind of go wherever you want. You don't really have to, if I wanted, I can go the shortest route regardless. It's just, and it also reduces the amount of trips I have to take because it has 8 slots, an 8-slot trailer.
Right.
And it can also tow a trailer too. So, I can take things that are like, oversized cargo and for lumber or bricks in one run instead of 2 different runs.
I mean, that's just makes it efficient.
Right. And that's just how I like playing the game, doing the delivery, the checkoff. I did the delivery, I'm done. That's the fun part. The mapping is not the fun part to me.
Like the fog of war stuff where you can't see anything until you get there.
Yeah. Like the going to the map and plotting my path with the little dots to make my own waypoints. That's not the fun part to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part to me is going there. It's Death Stranding, but in a truck. Like the walking is the fun part.
Right, and I think we've talked about this before. How much more fun for us Death Stranding would be if it got rid of the enemies and just let us do, let us be FedEx.
Yeah, basically. I know that. Actually, Des, I don't remember. Did you watch me play a lot of Death Stranding? I don't think you did.
I watched some of it, and I saw Conan.
Yes, you did.
And of course, he's down in this like little cave that you have to get out of the car. Yeah, to go see him.
I was able to always back up my car right to the very ledge.
There is a ledge there. I backed up the car to it, and then I tripped down it.
Yep. And then I put one of the umbrella things or whatever it's called. I forget what they're called. Areas. So that way I knew where to stop at. So when I got out of the vehicle, if it was raining, I would just go out under that.
The time stop stuff.
Time, yeah. So, but yeah, Timefall, that's what it was. But yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think Des watched a whole lot of Death Stranding, but it's
You play a
Amazon.
lot of it when everybody was asleep too.
Yeah, because I think that was like
Oh.
a lot of like the creepiness. I didn't want Genevieve.
Well,
Yeah.
if you ran into BTs, then it can get kind of, I guess you could say creepy, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's that suspenseful,
Mm-hmm.
creepy.
Just the mules themselves and like, random
Yeah.
things that you encounter, no biggie.
Yeah, those
It's-
weren't a big issue.
The BTs are a little weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was never a big fan of that. But that's what I like in SnowRunner too. Like, I love playing Death Stranding's walking simulator, right? Amazon package delivery simulator. That's why I love SnowRunner, because it's that, but no BTs. Like, there's no enemies. I love that.
Right. Did you ever play oh shoot, was it Lake?
Yes, I did play Lake.
So that is, for me, that was a nice, relaxing, just deliver things and then, occasionally deal with some story. But it was quite literally just drive the postal van and go deliver.
Yeah, I liked it. I showed Des. I don't think you were too. I don't know if I just don't think the story grabbed you very much.
You showed Genevieve more than you showed me.
Okay, that's right, because that was the time like Genevieve was looking for games to play outside of like I almost said Squid
Minecraft.
Girls.
This is Squid.
I was like, that's not right. Squid Girls. That's not it. Splatoon. That thing. Squid Girls. Yeah, those things.
The Squid
But yeah,
Kids.
buying Squid
Callie and
Kids.
Marie. Stay
Yeah.
fresh.
Now it's stay off something.
Stay off
Something
the
stay
hook.
off the hook. Yeah,
Or
that's
you'll
pretty
get
creepy.
cooked or something like that.
Something like that. It's morbid. But yeah, that was at that time frame when she was trying to get games that weren't Minecraft or wasn't Splatoon or Spiritfarer.
Oh
yeah.
yes, Spiritfarer.
Yeah, but she still has to finish. She really likes it, but she really likes it. I think because me playing it with her, because I'm the cat and I mess around.
I was about to say, is the cute animal quotient high? Is that why?
Yeah. I mean, everything's an animal. Granted, you have to ferry them to their death, but
It's a little morbid.
yeah, I don't think you ever actually watched Genevieve play that.
No.
Yeah, the whole purpose of that game is you are a Spiritfarer who ferries the souls of dead people to
Those
the
who have-
afterlife.
Yeah,
But-
those who have just recently passed, and
Right.
you kind of learn about their life as you're, taking them, and you make friends with them. And from everything that I've read about the game, because I haven't played through it all myself, it's very emotional.
It is. It is very emotional. There are some more mature topics. But I
Mhm.
don't think they're not done. It's not done in a I don't say grotesque, but
Kinda like in a SpongeBob way. A little over their head if they're too young to really grasp.
yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, and it's not because it's not done in like a joking format. It is the story is done in a way that if they had a question, it kind of leaves it open to be able for them to ask about it without
Mhm.
being like offensive. So in I don't think Genevieve cared too much about the story. More, she just kind of like it's a frog, it's a deer.
This frog's going through some stuff. Oh well,
Right.
he's cute.
He's cute. He's funny. But it is a very beautiful game. I haven't finished it all the way through either. What else I've been playing though is House Flipper. I got back into House Flipper,
Such a fun game.
and it's just it's one of those time wasting games that you can just pick up and just play.
If there was ever a title for an Ed and Eric game,
yeah.
it is something like House Flipper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love an RC car builder.
Ooh,
Just
yeah,
saying.
RC car simulator.
Yes.
Who?
Because we had something
Model
like
making
that.
101.
Oh, yes, yes. Don't jest. I would be first in line.
Right?
I will
Certainly.
cut. I will use the mouse to use the clippers to clip out, or an X-Acto knife to clip out the pieces.
Oh my
and then
god, that'd be so much
paint
fun.
them by hand and glue them together and let it sit there for 2 hours.
Now, would you
And then-
prefer it as like a more tactile game, like on a phone or a tablet, or as on a computer with a mouse? and keyboard?
I think I would prefer 3 different setups. I would prefer
Ooh.
with the mouse or a controller.
Right?
I would like to see a mobile port where it's a little more simplified, but yeah, you could just, take your finger and move it to where you want to go, and something a little more in depth on VR.
Ooh.
No.
Or you could do like on a like one that warrants well with like a stylus on.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like
you
a
can be
DS kind of thing?
Yeah. So you're basically like using a paintbrush.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, like the Wacom tablets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see. We have connections with some simulators that they send us for review. Maybe we'll reach out to, hey guys, look,
Drop a
I know
line.
you guys don't really know me, but hear me out.
But here's an idea. You're doing all other sorts of simulators. Guess what you can probably do?
have you heard of laundromats? Call back.
Well, so going on the same route of simulators. I did animal shelter simulator and car detailing simulator last
Mhm,
week,
mhm.
and I mean same thing. It's that something to pick up and play. You could do a mission or two, or like in car detailing simulator, do like clean a car or two.
Right.
It's just a
Just a
time
nice,
wasting game.
relaxing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put on a podcast, put on some music, and just go.
A podcast.
I got back.
Like-
Podcast?
like one that we're on now.
Yes, actually, I do listen. Typically, that's when I listen to the podcast is when I'm playing SnowRunner or a simulator game.
Okay, so I edit the podcast. I listen through it once for the editing, and then I will listen to it in my car on my drives home and to work. One, just to make sure that it sounds good.
Yes,
But
yeah,
now I've listened to our voices like 3 or 4 times, all in all.
It's funny because I listened to it, and a few times I've thought, "Is this conceited? Like, is this literally me saying I like to hear my own voice?"
I definitely do not like to hear my own voice, but I have no qualms with doing so.
I actually listen to it. We listen to him typically because one to listen for the audio, but to actually hear other people again, like other people, like you or guests, listen to what they
Oh,
say
yeah.
again.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll miss something. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, why I didn't react to that? Why?
Right? There was a few times I'm like, wait, Des
Where
said,
was
"Oh
I?"
man,
Yeah, exactly.
Where was I? What was I doing?"
I was thinking about butterflies in the sky or something.
Because I could go twice as high.
They're way
Yeah.
up high.
Right, they're
Or
way
in a
up
book.
high in a book.
Reading
Rainbow.
With a special pair of glasses.
La Forge. So also I got back into Destiny 2 with Keegan and his friend last week. And every time I get back into it, I realize the game is just so good to play.
It's so much fun.
It's such a good game.
I just
Mechanic
wish it
wise.
wasn't so convoluted.
Yeah. It's one of those things, and Des has heard this I don't know how many times, but me and my buddy and we used to play Destiny 2 a lot, and it was always like, this game is so good.
Destiny
If
1.
only... Oh, Destiny 1. Sorry, yeah, right. It was Destiny 1. And we would be like, this game is so good. If only they...
If only this or if only that. Why did they
Right.
have to change this?
Exactly. And it's just it's the little things that you gripe on, but like I said, you get back into it and it's like it is such a tight game to play mechanically. I could play it and just be sitting there shooting for no reason, just shooting.
It's just having fun.
Right.
Well, so when I was up and I was playing with Keegan, just going back to the Cosmodrome in 2, it's like, wow, this feels so familiar. Oh, this feels so good. Everything's still here. And like, I'm just running around, enjoying my time, not really doing anything, but just, shooting stuff.
Right.
And I was having a good time.
Well, until Keegan decided to do a legendary
run
on
Keegan
something. Him being the only one that is at the light level power that can do it. The other 2 people in his party are like not even close.
Hey, well, we got there. We did it.
Eventually.
Yeah, thanks to my swift thinking at the very end. But we got it.
Yeah. I've also played BunHouse again with Maris, the littlest one. She really likes playing that with somebody. She's got to play it with somebody. I found that she won't play it by herself.
Every time I hear the words BunHouse, I'm thinking, you know what? I bet you know exactly what I'm about to say.
The song.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking someone's gonna hop out on stage and they go down at the BunHouse, boom, do 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 do, and then all these bunnies start dancing.
Yeah. See, there's 2 songs that reminds me of. Well, 2 things that reminds me of that. One, that the roundhouse thing, and the other one is like Des said, Funhouse.
Yeah.
From Pink.
Yep. This used to be a BunHouse.
Yeah. I can see a bunch of bunnies dancing around. But she likes playing it, and I like that she likes playing it because it gives her because we all use the controller, and it'll help her with hand-eye coordination.
Oh yeah,
to learn how to play things better, and she's being able to read letters, so she's able to do things. She may not be able to read the sentences or the words, but it'll say press A. She'll know to press A.
Right.
So it's definitely helping.
She knows her way around a controller, which is good.
Yeah, it helps with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
In a few months she'll be playing Phoenix Wright.
Exactly.
Yes.
This knows all about Phoenix, right?
Ah, yes.
Objection.
Other than that, GT7, I started my final tests, those final licensing tests.
What are you up to?
The 3rd one still, I think. I haven't picked it up in the past week.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the 3rd one, I believe.
I think that's the Toyota Supra one?
I think so.
On Tokyo?
Am on that, or I just finished that. I think I just finished it because I was pissed off that it didn't handle the way that I thought it should handle.
Yeah, well, the car itself isn't too bad, but there are like 1 or 2 turns in there where it's very deceptive, and it's like I don't need to be hitting the brake, but boy, it feels like I need to be hitting the brakes.
Yep. Also, Pokemon Fire Red, I got back into that. So I haven't played any Arceus, but I did play Fire Red, and man, does Metapod take for freaking ever.
Still working on that Metapod.
Yes.
So
and
what you're working on is
saved over.
Oh no.
His game.
Yes. So okay, I forgot all about that. Yes, thank you, Des. I got back into it, and I'm using an emulator. So I hit the F1 button to load, and my keyboard will go to sleep because it's wireless, so to save battery. So you have to hit a key first to wake it up. Well, I hit the F1 key, and it didn't wake up. Oh, it woke up after hitting the F1, and then I hit Shift F1, which saves the state of the game.
Oh no.
So I save stated at the beginning title of the game. where nothing was done. And I went, oh no, oh no,
I'm a
screwed
dummy.
this up. And I
all
went,
all I hear, I'm sitting on the couch, and I hear click, click. No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Did I really? Hold on. Wait. He's just like, there's no real sentences coming out of his mouth, but just frantic clicking.
Existential
really
dread
hope-
is coming.
oh yeah. I was like, oh no, I didn't do. It was the realization that I did it, and the realization that it was my fault and only my fault. I could blame no one else. And it's like,
And
you're idiot.
everything's just starting to go through your head now. It's like, oh, I did this. I screwed up. It's only me. I did that. Oh no, that's 50 hours. Oh no.
50 hours. I don't think you understand. That's more than 50 hours. my
I'm
good
just
sir.
using a number for example.
I've maxed out the time clock on that.
Okay.
It's 99.99.
Now that's not
59.
fair because you also do it at what, 3 times speed or something like that.
Yes, that's true too.
So in-game clock, yeah, you've probably maxed that thing out.
Yeah.
Real world time, probably closer to something like maybe under 100. If I had to guess.
That makes sense. Yeah. But I ended up remembering that I always do 2 saves. I do the save state and I do the in-game save.
Aha.
I went through the in-game save as a backup, and then I save stated at that when I loaded the game. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So that was something. But Metapod sucks. I hate it. And it takes forever. Listen.
Can't you just go get a bunch of rare candies?
No, there's only so many rare candies in the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you could. I thought there was a vendor eventually that you could buy them from.
Rare candies? I
Yeah.
don't think so. Unless maybe I'm missing something. I don't think it was in Fire Red. I might have to look that up and check. But I'm at 84 or 80. No, 90. It's like 90 something, 89, 90 on Metapod. And no lie, this thing started at level 5. I have gone through 5 different Pokemon with experience share to level 100. And he is still not to level 100.
Is he at least like a tank or something? Can he?
No.
Does
he
have,
can
like, a
only
lot of
do
HP?
Harden. No. He sucks. He literally sucks. It's like 139 health point HP or something. It's garbage. And again, he has no tackle. He only hardens.
They really want you to get off of Metapod.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him to the next stage now.
Right? Well, and then guess what the next one is?
Kakuna.
Yeah,
It's
and that's going to be the same thing. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm putting the Everstone on them, so I don't have to hit the A button every time.
Right.
Every, level up. So what I'm doing is, putting the Everstone on the 1, putting them out first, and then switching, doing the switch training.
Right.
And then putting the one that's strongest out. And if it is the one I'm currently training that has the experience share, then, so be it. If not, then I put like Charizard out, which is already 100, and he tanks whatever. So,
yeah.
It's just for rinse and repeat, kind of thing. But it's taken a while. Freaking Metapod. And more recently, me and Genevieve have been building a model that I got for my birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's of a car that Dad used to have, 79 Pontiac Firebird. Yeah, Trans Am. So she was really getting into that, and she's the one who wanted to start building it. So I'm like, hey, yeah, we'll build it and paint it and whatnot. So she's excited.
That's cool.
She's been trying to get it going and done.
Hey, maybe it ends up being a new hobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I've always liked it. It's very relaxing.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
There's just something about putting things together. Also, good for podcasts.
Yeah. Definitely. And the last thing I have is large TVs are heavy again. So back in the day when you had to put a large TV up, it was like, a 2 to 4 person job.
Uh, Depending on what type of TV you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So, in with the advent of like, LED TVs and OLEDs, things have
They've-
gotten heavy, lighter.
Lighter, yeah.
Yeah. Well, turns out a 75-inch television, heavy.
A lot more
Dad got
inches
one.
than you're used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the little inches. I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently, Dad got a 75-inch TV. He's maxed out his stand weight.
Yeah. That you sent me because he asked you the night before, hey, can you help me with something in the morning?
Yep.
And he was very vague about what it was.
Yep.
And then as I'm driving to my weekend work, you send me a text that says, hey, Dad needed me to help move a 75-inch TV. And the best thing that I could respond with was just a video of me laughing.
Yeah, showed Dad. He was like, okay.
Well, and
Man.
it was only like you got the text, and then it was like, well, what do I need? It's like just you and Maris. I'm like,
Right.
what do you need with Maris? Like, I'm going to church. I could have taken her with me, and then you could have just been like, I had the rest of the kids. But nope, Maris was specifically requested on said text message.
Well, they got to test out the TV somehow. They got to get the imagination movers up there.
Right. You make sure that
you're
is
not lying.
good quality.
That was one of the first things that was put up there.
Oh, boy.
Was imagination movers.
I'm sure to her, it was quite literally like watching a movie theater.
I mean, the TV's bigger than her.
Yeah.
The box was taller than her. It's crazy. So that's what I've been doing. 2 weeks of me. So what you guys got?
Well, before I go, let's let our guest jump in here, and I'll be a gracious host. Des, have you got anything to share? Have you been playing any games?
So I'm not a huge gamer. I teach dance, so my evenings are pretty much like stacked, and we, as you've heard, Imagination Movers is pretty much our television during the day. So
Oh yeah, that's our music and TV.
yeah, and of course, like you try to use the big TV, it's a whole thing. Like we've got a separate in our living room at the moment. We have 3 different stations. There's the big TV that has the PlayStation, our new Switch, and the regular Switch connected up to it because I started playing Arceus and the Brilliant Diamond. And,
Oh, yes.
So like I was actually playing that for a good while, and I was using up the other Switch's ability to be used, which then our son was not very happy about because he couldn't play Smash Brothers because, God forbid the boy uses something else other than what you want to use.
Oh, you're using something? I think it's about time I use
For me
something.
to use that.
I've got my own computer, and, Friday Night Funkin' was not enough at that moment.
Yeah.
It's
and
not as
then-
fun unless someone else is playing on it.
Exactly. And then there's the smaller TV, which we set up like on a separate table so Maris could have something. It was like it's got the Fire Stick so she can watch her shows on it, and then that way like she has her space. Well, she doesn't
Yeah.
enjoy that, of course, because you're using the big TV, so she wants to use the big TV. And then there is Eric's computer station behind the couch. So we've got 3 different screens in the room, but the almost 5-year-old has to utilize every one of them.
Oh yeah,
You've got
she will have
imagination movers
imagination.
playing on one,
Mhm.
and then she wants to play a game or like she wants to play Snippy Clips.
Oh yeah, snipper clip.
Yeah, mommy,
I've
will
had
you
her
play
seen
Snippy
her.
Clips?
Yep,
Aw.
I've seen her do imagination movers on the big TV. What is it, Calico Jack or something?
Oh
On
yeah, the
Netflix on the
Octonauts.
or the Octonauts. That's what it is.
Yep.
On the small
other
TV. And then on the tablet, she's watching or playing a game, and I'm like, Maris, you're not watching the two TVs. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You're playing a game.
Very defensive. Yes, I am.
Yep.
Yes, I am.
You,
Yes,
and
I
you try
am.
to turn one of
I-
them off, and then there's a problem.
Yeah, I'm like, no,
But I'm using
no.
Yeah. So she needs to utilize everything. So I basically get relegated to I just play on my phone. And so I have like my my roulette phone games. There's Love and Pies.
Love
which
and
is-
pies.
Yes.
What is this game? I don't know this game.
Are we bakers?
It's a merge game. So I have a lot of
Oh.
merge games on my phone.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I am not very familiar with the merge genre, except for like the ad for merge dragons that keeps popping up in these mobile games.
What is a merge?
I've done Merge Dragons, but that didn't stick with me long enough. So Love and
What is a
Pies.
merge game?
So it's where you've got like the different symbols and you have to merge them together to create a different one, and then they grow.
I see.
And
Okay.
so it's in a way, I was big into Diner Dash.
Yes.
Back in the day. So it
Not a merge game.
it kind of gives me the same satisfaction as Diner Dash. Because you're not just merging, you're completing orders for customers. So as you're completing these orders, you have these different like energy generators that can give you certain things. So you have like a shopping bag that can give you flour and apples, and those can merge to become cakes and pies.
Oh.
And then there's like a service tray that can give you different types of drinks that you can build to become coffees and hot chocolate and tea,
Mhm.
sodas. And there's like a beehive that can create honey, and then you can create honey muffins and stuff like. And so like there's lots of different types of things, and then there's like seasons or special events that'll happen that you have to create like a certain amount of those orders, and you can get a certain amount of money, or there's one that rotates in there that's like you're going on a date, and so you can get roses from every order that you finish, and if you get a certain amount of roses, then you can get special rewards, and it just kind of goes from there. So I've been playing that a lot, and of course you have a certain amount of energy,
Right.
that will recalibrate every 2 minutes. You get another energy back, and so I've been playing that a lot. And then when I run out of energy on that one, I rotate over to Travel Town, which is a similar one, but that one you're building this like beach town. So you're cleaning up different sections of the beach. So you cleaned up the beach area, and that one gives you like a sand bucket, and the sand bucket can give you shells and rocks and little sand castles, and you build those. And then you can like unlock there's like a photography studio, so then you get the camera bag, and the camera bag creates different types of film, and then you create different like photo albums. And like as you go along, you unlock all these special areas, and each special area has a certain type of
Mhm.
reward or whatever that comes from that. And then there's special orders at the top that you have to fill out. So some people will need a milkshake and
At the bar.
yeah.
And bring it to the yard.
Right. Yep, just like that. And then that also has random events that comes through, and it's like, oh, there's the jungle event, and so you're trying to create these little tigers and stuff like that. So I bounce between the two of those, and Maris has also watched me play those, and she tries to pull my phone out of my hand for that. She's like, Mommy, let me play.
I'll show you how to play.
I can do that. And so the matching, what's the same? So she likes those as well.
Right.
And so I actually got to the point where, so I own an iPad.
Uh-huh.
We purchased this for work because everyone else at the studio owns an Apple device except for me. And I was like, well, they do a lot of video stuff and like they'll record dances. And so if I need to get a copy of the dance, then they can just airdrop it to me and it'll be a lot easier. I think I've used that at the studio maybe like, would you say, Eric, about 3 times?
And that was within the first month of getting it, yeah.
Yeah, it basically became Maris's tablet 2.0.
I mean, we call it Mommy's tablet. We say Mommy's tablet, but it's not Mommy's tablet.
And she has to ask for it, but it basically is hers. And so we actually got to the point where I put Travel Town on that tablet because she keeps pulling my phone out of my hand. She doesn't even ask me anymore. I'll be playing and she goes, I can do that. And just like completely relinquishes it and goes on. And I'm like, you don't use my gems and don't, use my coins.
In the other room, I just hear, don't use my gems. I'm like,
what are you doing? Where did all my gems go? Those only come around once in a blue moon. So now she has her own version of Travel Town on the tablet, and she can play. But that's like pretty much the extent of my gaming. I did pick up Arceus this week because I've hit the point where I'm right before like the final battle, but it was like, hey, so before you play that flute, make sure you've done everything that you wanted. Make sure you found all the Pokemon. So
Does it give you like a warning message?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. It's very blatant. It's like, hey, before, like that says, before you play that flute, have you done everything you want to do?
Yeah, that tells me, okay, great. I can't save.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so I've been working on, and so being the wife of somebody who, as you can tell, wants to create all of the 100%. I am working on perfecting my Pokédex entry, so I've perfected several Pokemon, but this week I worked on, I think, 3 different ones.
Yep.
That I finished out.
So here's what you do. You get them all to 100, except one. And then you go, you know what? I'm done.
Well,
leave it at 99.
With Arceus, it's not just like get it up to 100. It's like the Pokédex entries are like, hey, so you know this one, it needs to do a strong style move 40 times around. It needs to do this move 20 times around. And it needs to do this move as a, what's the other style? Like the quick style. Agile style move 60 times. And I'm like, wait, where did that number come from? That is way too many.
It's a lot. Or like, I love the ones where it's like, you need to evolve them X amount, or catch them, 40 times. I'm like, I don't
catch them while sleeping.
Right. So I'm going to catch
them without being spotted.
And then throw them away.
Yep.
Pretty much. But
there's
the more
a giant
that you throw
hole.
away, the more pastures you end up with. I have like 30 something now. So then you're like throwing away Pokemon because you're like, hey, I don't have any more room to catch anymore.
Right.
And so we've all had our ways of like how we want to organize our Pokemon. And so I attempted to like organize them by type.
Uh-huh.
And so like I have them like, it was originally like 2 empty pastures, and then I started the organizing from there. And so I had, I think, poison type and fighting type and then water type, and it just like went on, of course. But
Right.
because I'm waiting for Pokemon, there's empty spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to remember that you only have so many spaces in a pasture. So
Yeah.
I was in there and I'm catching all the Pokemon that I need. And catch this one this many times. And, ooh, there was an outbreak. So I went over there and I caught all these Pokemon from the outbreak. And I lost track of how many Pokemon I caught. And I opened up those pastures. And holy crap, I was like into pasture, I think 8.
Good God.
With full, like, all my empty spaces were gone. And I was like, oh, shit. Where I need to figure out who doesn't belong on this page. So that was like a whole thing, but that was a while back. I've since then learned I have 3 empty pastures to start with, and I go back regularly to
oh boy.
reorganize. And then you also have to like a certain amount have to evolve, and I found that like if you carry several in your pocket at the same time, it's very helpful, because then when you need to do a move a certain amount of times,
Right.
if one faints, you just go to the next one, and then you don't have to go back to your to your tent to rest, because you're like, I got another one. Or like you run out of PP on a move because it was like 5 and you need to do the move like 20 times and they missed twice. You're like, well, I got another one. And I don't have to use a Hoppo berry.
Right. I like that Des found out also. She found out that when you evolve a Pokemon, it counts as catching.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So then I stock up and I've got like rows of 6.
Like I could totally see you out there with one, throw him out there, he faints, and you go, okay, I choose you, cannon fodder. And here comes the second one at the same time.
Yeah. Guess what? Another one.
And another one. And another one. That Rapidash, he gonna see 5.
You see all 5 and all 5 going down.
Yup. So those are pretty much the games that I've been playing. But I decided, because we had a couple of our daughter's friends over the other day. Their parents were going off on an anniversary dinner, and they're like, hey, we're gonna go see Dumbledore. And I was like, cool. And I enjoy my shows and stuff, and I'm like a Bravo junkie, and I watch all the trashy TV, just on Bravo. I'm not on like MTV and all of that junk, but
just the classy trashy.
You know,
the classy trashy.
They got the fancy jewelries, and they throw wine at each other. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? I know that I've seen like all the ads on like FX has the movies, and USA, they like boast about how they've got all the Harry Potter movies. All the Harry Potters live here on USA. And so I was like, hey, you know what? Dumbledore's out. Haven't watched the Fantastic Beast movies, but I figure I should probably finish like the original Harry Potters before I hit the actual, like moving on to the current ones. So I decided I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the Harry Potter movies. Got through 1, got through 2, got through halfway 3, come home from church today, took my nap. I was like, I'm going to finish out 3, go on to 4. They are no longer on the platform I was looking at. I was like, wait. where did you go?
I wasn't done.
It's like, hey, you can record this because it's going to be on next week. And I'm like, wait, no. Why? And I went through every other platform we have. Because started with Sling and it wasn't on Sling. Went to Hulu, went to Paramount Plus, went to Netflix, went to Amazon Prime. I have not dabbled into like HBO Max or anything, but
I think that's probably where they live.
I think so too.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, found it on Amazon Prime, but you got to pay for them. I'm not going to rent it. These movies are ridiculously old. I should be able to watch them on one of the bajillion platforms that we already
You should
have.
pay me to watch them.
Right. So, yeah, that's pretty much. I said it yesterday, and we went to a birthday party yesterday too. I'm like, we've kind of come out of the fog of April because as a dance teacher, like weekends and weeknights are up for grabs. So I'm busy every weeknight because I'm teaching, and then we are a competition studio, so we go out to competitions as well. So the way our schedule landed this year, it was an every other weekend type thing. But then there's also this thing called Easter.
Oh, right. Yes.
And then there's this thing called my husband's birthday.
Yeah, that thing happened.
That landed on every weekend of April. And I'm like, what happened? Where did time go? I don't know where I am now. It's May.
It is now May. April has...
She was singing, "Please let it be May."
And I'm like, oh no, because like we get a couple weekends off, but then it's like end of school. So we've got the Hershey Park trip, and then we've got another competition, and we've got our anniversary, and we've got recital. So like we've got like 2.5 weeks off, and then it's just like chaos again. And then it'll be the middle of June, and then we're going to be getting ready for nationals. So it's just a continue loop.
Right. It piles up one on top of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're not like, when you go to the competition, it's a competition it's not at your studio, right? It's not at your home studio. For people that don't know a lot about dance, you're traveling somewhere else to go to like another school or a theater or something that the competition is being held at. So sometimes they're a few minutes away. Most of the time they're like hours away.
Yeah, like we did get a hotel room for the first two, and it was like it was a hour and 20-minute drive for the first one, but then you're also relegated to the schedule that they give you. So we've got 21 dances, but you got like one at 8:00 in the morning, and then the next one's not till 9, and then the next one's not till noon. But then at noon you've got one, and then like 20 minutes later there's another, and then 20 minutes later there's another, and then there's like, and then it can be like back to back to back to back, and they've got like 3 dances to get changed, and hopefully they don't have to change their tights.
Right.
Like, what can we streamline? What do you need help with? What earrings are you wearing? Because of course you got all the accessories too.
Right.
And then you've got the award ceremonies in the middle of it, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's been 6 hours and I don't think my child has eaten anything. We should probably feed them.
Yep. Very, very easy to do.
Yeah.
You're constantly going.
And then I assume they're like, okay, 10-minute break.
Right. And they're like, oh yeah, the judges need to eat too.
Yeah. So they'll have a judge's break. But usually
where they
after
get
like
their breaks is during the awards. Because it's like, hey, we just sat here for the last how many hours? We're going to go eat for the next hour, and you guys get your awards, and then we'll be back. So they'll do awards, and that'll can take 20 minutes, and then it's like another half hour, and then we're gonna get back to it, and
Right.
then like you could have a dance at like 5 o'clock, and then by the way, that award ceremony is not till 9.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I
That was
guess
the
we're
only one
gonna
I was
take
in,
them out to
but,
eat, and then we'll
mhm.
come back. But then some competitions, it all depends on how the process goes, how efficient they are, and like how well and on top of the game all the studios are. So you can be on time, you can run early. Like our last competition actually was, they consistently can run a half hour ahead of schedule because they're
Wow.
just
They were on it.
so efficient. Like that was the most on top of it competition I've seen, and I was blown away. They have their concierge team is what they call it.
Mhm.
And like each one of them has a pack and a headset, and they rotate
okay.
through. And so like you come in, you check in, and they're like, okay, so you're this dance. Do you start on stage or off stage? Do you have any props? And then they message to the person who runs the music, and they're like, okay, so and so's checked in on stage, no props. And so like they get that all together. And then if like you're 2 dances away from going on stage and you're not backstage, they find you.
Yep.
And they're like, hey,
Okay.
you're coming up, let's go. And so you get back there, and that all happens. But then they also do these judges awards where one of them will get like a ticket, and it says special delivery from the judges table. And so then they come and
Ooh.
find you after your dance, and they're like, hey, the judges wanted to give this to you. And like they even like write a little note as to like why they named the judges award what they did. And like, so that was even a cool thing on top of it. It was like, hey, we just wanted to like let you know judges saw you and they liked this. And it was amazing
neat.
how efficient they were. I was like, if I were to ever go into the realm of working for a dance competition, that's the one I want. 'Cause they just have so much fun. They're jamming backstage. They're just, it's a very light and helpful mood. And they like walk around and they're like, it was such a pleasure having you around. And we're like, oh my goodness, like you're a pleasure to have around.
Hey, I was offered a job.
Well, yes, I was about to mention they had a competition for the dance parents, and someone decided to get up there and strut his stuff.
Didn't decide.
He was
voluntold.
voluntold.
I was not willing.
Why don't you describe your experience for us?
Well, I mean, so they had won in the beginning of that competition on Saturday, I guess, and Dez went up actually, and it was a dance competition, so it was a little dance off, and they're like, "Oh, we can't choose who, we can't just pick one. Y'all are winners," and it was kind of cool. Yeah,
They're like,
And,
hey, let's see
so
where
then,
the kids get it from.
right. So then, when all that happened, when they were done with the awards, I was immediately talked to by many of the girls and the studio owner. Like, if it happens again, you're going up. Like, you don't have a choice. I'm like, oh, okay. So the next few times, the next few awards, it didn't happen. I'm like, sweet, don't have to deal with it. And then the very
Right.
last awards, they did it. So I went up, and I'm like, all right, I'm thinking, what am I going to do? All right, I'll do the shopping cart, and then I'll do the Cabbage Patch. And then like, as I'm thinking that up on stage, like, so we're not doing a dance competition this time. I'm like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I wasn't
Like-
prepared.
Yeah, I was not prepared for this. And I was like, what could they? Oh, they're going to do a runway.
You're crossing your fingers. Please be math. Please be math.
Please be
math.
I can engineer stuff. But no, like, I instantly was like, oh no, oh, it's going to be a runway. That's the only thing I could think of right off the top of my head that would be similar. And it was a runway walk. So I strutted my stuff, and I was doing
Working
my
it.
thing. Oh yeah. And I came back, and the guy that was like announcing the DJ of the whole thing was like, I want to hire this guy. This guy, This guy's be great for the company.
Like, they did all great, but I know I wouldn't hire that guy. Because he had his sunglasses on his head, and he was like, okay, came up, and then, like, dropped the sunglasses down. And I was like, oh, here he goes.
he used his props to full
extent.
Full extent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Well,
You
and
know,
they
I mean,
like
like-
they went across the stage and they were like having everybody introduce themselves, and they got up to, and he's like, oh, I'm Mr. Eric from Allegro Dance Company, and the girls lost it. Like, they were all so excited, and like right before they had come up, I guess one of the girls heard that they were going to do another parents thing, and one of them had their phone with them, and they knew my phone number, and I get a text message from her, and she goes, Miss Desiree, they're doing another parents thing. Where's Mr. Eric? I was like, I have him. And she's like, good. And she had like a little evil face.
Excellent.
And I looked at them and I like pointed him out, and I was like, I got him. And they were like, yes. So of course, as soon as it happened, he got up, and they just like lost their shit. They were like, he got one of the loudest screams from the audience. So, and of course it was the day before his birthday, so it was like, y'all just like made
Perfect.
his day.
It was
Oh, yeah.
too perfect.
I love those girls. Yep. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Well, sounds like a rousing good time.
Yeah. So, Ed,
Yes, me.
have you been to any dance competitions? Did you strut your stuff on the runway?
I sadly did not. I walked up to a school building, and that's about it. So I got to see the kids do their dances on a couple of days, and it was very nice, very wholesome. I was glad to be a part of it after so many years, not thinking that I'm probably not going to get to see these guys do this, and it felt really good. So thank you guys for having me come up.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have been kind of traveling, and it's going back home for the holidays, and the kids dance, and then coming back to do my actual job. So it's been very busy, a lot of road travel, and not much time playing games. I have been playing Rogue Legacy 2 on and off, though, and I will have a review of that coming up here within the next day or so. But if you play the first game, it is a roguelite. Light? I'm always confused. I think it's roguelike.
Yeah, I don't know the difference, honestly.
So
So confusing.
in Rogue Legacy, you have a character, they have stats, and you're basically going through a randomly generated castle. And the randomly generated part is like individual rooms that are just kind of pieced together. And the idea is to earn gold, make it to the different sections of the castle to defeat bosses to eventually reach the final boss. Every time you die, you lose the castle, and you get a brand new castle the next time you enter. Your character dies, and you get a new character out of 3. You get to pick from 1 of 3, and they have a whole new stats. And what I really like about the Rogue Legacy ones is they're not just like serious stats either. Some of them can be just kind of wacky or silly and just fun. I was playing earlier today, and one of the characters had it had a sepia toned filter. So you play through the castle in that sepia like goldish color, and you earned extra gold because of it. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of neat. And then I died, and the next character that had probably the best stats wise had a hidden stat, and you don't know what it is until you actually play as that character. And then for future characters, if they have it, you'll know what it is. this character's stat was putting sensor bars on all the enemies.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You couldn't. It was just blocky, pixelated sensor bars, so you could see them there, but you couldn't tell what they were.
Ugh.
So that made it a little rough, but was neat. And then sometimes you'll run into things that make it like you earn more gold or your attacks are stronger. One of the other ones I ran into was you had irritable bowel syndrome. So your one power slot was actually now dedicated to giving you liftoff.
Oh,
Wow.
So-
no.
Okay.
So instead of having an actual in this one I'm playing the PC, you press the Y button and that's a power. Press the B button, it's like a special move. So my power on the list was something else. But then when I get into the game, that special stat was IBS, and it said any power slot that you have has now been taken over by irritable bowel syndrome, which means you press the button, the character kind of just lifts off the ground.
Gosh.
It's silly, but it's fun. Whenever you do die, you take the money that you earned and you can upgrade your homestead, kind of like your own home castle, and you can buy new equipment for the new character. And everything that you had unlocked will progress into your new character. So that's where it's like the like part of a roguelite. Because in a rogue game, when you die, you lose everything.
Right.
So in a
You start the whole
roguelite,
character over.
yep. There are some times where you can carry things over with like special unlocks or special like amulets or powers, whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But in this one, being a roguelike, you're allowed to take things over into the next playthrough, the next run. And that's where I do enjoy this particular game, is because I don't feel like I've lost any progress. And it's just a lot of fun. Like I said, I've got a review coming out here, and you guys will be able to see what the score I give it will be. But we'll just say it'll be up there because I'm just having a blast playing this game. Other than that, I haven't been doing much. I have been, for my actual day job, is in video. So trying to understand some of these other like social media video techniques that people are using, like a TikTok per se. So I've been making my own personal ones, just trying to get used to the different facets of social media engagement and everything. And it's getting rather no, addicting is not the best word, but you get a nice little dopamine hit when you see that a video of yours is getting like 1,000 likes, or you're seeing that the play count keeps going up. It's kind of like watching a numbers game in, an RPG or something. Oh, I just keep leveling up. Oh, I'm just damaging this character. It's just watch those numbers go. So it is one of those things where I think if any of you guys were to start something like that, you would probably be like, yeah, I got to keep going because I got to see these numbers go up.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
It is definitely something that you kind of have to want to do, especially like, well, for me, like I said, I'm in the video field, so it is
Yeah.
not a far step for me to be in front of the camera or behind the camera doing something. I'm also, I like to think I can be humorous at times. So some of the stuff that I do, try to stretch my my humor out there and make things that are fun. The thing I've been working on is like motivational messages, just because when you're on these apps, a lot of the times it's all about like, uh, sexy ladies, or it's all about people complaining about somebody, or
Mhm.
politics. And then you do see the occasional like motivational things like, hey guys, you can do this. So
But
I
it's
figured,
pushed so far down under and everything, from everything else.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'll stick my foot in by doing some motivational stuff. No, it's been going okay. And I think I've got a little page going, so I'm enjoying it. So other than that, we've got a topic today. This is the same topic we talked about in episode 14A.
Or B, whatever we called it.
Yeah, whatever this ends up being, because we skipped a week.
Right.
But basically, the question that we have here today is: do you prefer to be overpowered by the end of the game, or would you rather the game scale up to you so you don't feel like Superman? Essentially, for myself, I prefer to be overpowered. I'm spending the time getting in there, grinding, earning my levels. I want to feel like I can one-shot everything. That is my goal if I'm doing that. I don't want the game to level up with me. I don't care to have that challenge. My challenge is in actually repeating the process over and over until I am unstoppable.
Right. You see, I'm that way too. I'm very much, I want to be Superman. I want to be the superhero at the end of the game, flick you in the head, you've died. Like,
yeah. One Punch Man.
Right, exactly.
So what about you, Des? Now, I know you've just started with like Skyrim and everything. And that is very much a game where you can level up, get new gear, and like be stronger than everybody if you choose to do so. Have you played other games like that where you can kind of like be overkill and wipe the floor clean with everybody? Or let's say, is that something, would you prefer to have that difficulty kind of level off with where you're currently at?
So, I have played the Mass Effect series. And
Yes.
Also good. Good
that's
example.
kind of where, I got brought in. I enjoy a good story. So I've like watched Eric play Metal Gear Solid. I watched him
Metal
play.
Gear?
Yeah.
Snake!
Really? And I watched him play 1 and 2 when they originally came out. And so when Mass Effect 3 came out, he was like, "Oh, Des, there's a story mode." And I was like, "Okay, good for you." And he's like, "No, really, there's a story mode that you can play, and it's not as hard. Like the computers actually work." And I was like, "'Cause I don't shoot. I'm like one joystick turn me, and then the other joystick aim, and I take too long to aim, and then I'm dead." Like that's where I started, and it was like, no, you can play this, and like you could basically hide behind a wall, and your counterparts will shoot them for you, and then you can move on and you can just play the story. And I started that way, and mid game I kind of got to the point where I was like, I'd start a battle and then I'd hand the controller off to Eric to finish it.
Right.
But then by the time I actually got to the end of the game, I did get the hang of being able to play. So as somebody
she was maintaining it herself, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not one for like, part of why I haven't like been, oh my gosh, I need to play Skyrim every night, like, is because I'm not one that's like, hey, I need to do all the research on all the things and all the reasons why these things are better for me. Like, this is why this armor's better for me, and this is why these things on my guns are better for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, it's, I click through things so I don't have a notification symbol on it. I'm one of those people. Like, I don't allow my email to become a bajillion emails unread. Like I can't stand the dots and the notifications.
You don't want to know how many unread Gmails I have right now.
The only reason I have a butt ton of spam is because it's a separate folder, and that's not the notification that comes up. It's just your actual
your
inbox.
actual inbox.
But
my number may have 4 digits.
Oh
No.
no!
Oh,
Lord!
Okay. In my defense, that's split between 4 email boxes.
Not a defense.
Still,
Not a defense.
I have 4
check
emails,
them all.
and yes, the only one that becomes a problem is my Yahoo because it's not connected to Gmail.
No, to the yeah.
So one of mine in the Gmail is my saving content one where I get press releases and like news.
Oh, okay, that's a little different too.
So stuff just constantly. Actually, I can probably drill down here real quick. So out of those 1,000, let's see. It is over. Of course, it's not going to tell me. It just says 99 plus. So it is the most out of that bunch. Because they just keep coming.
Yeah. But with that being said, I am not, like, I don't go in and go, oh, so, like, this thing helps with my my armor. This thing helps make sure I have more health. This thing helps me look like I'm purple. I don't know. Like, I don't look into all that stuff. I'm just like, hey, I like to stand in a corner, hide, and snipe people from the top, and that's it.
This armor gives me the power of grimace.
If I could have more bullets and I can hide, I can see better, I can aim better, like that's it. That's the extent of my research that I will go into. So once I find a gun, I stick with it. I don't try all the different types. Hi.
Mama, I broke your bracelet.
You broke my bracelet.
Oh,
what
no.
bracelet?
Yours.
Mine.
Yeah, but it could fail me.
Which bracelet did you break?
Yours.
The one. Okay.
The one with the rainbow ball, the hearts, and the candy.
Oh, I think that's your bracelet. I'm getting a story from the baby.
Uh-huh.
You broke it. What are you gonna do about that?
Mommy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it looked like. It looked like this, and I'm trying to tie it up, so it's over me, then it broke.
Well, thank you for telling me. Alrighty. I love you. Good night. So, anyways, I was saying, when it comes to our when I game, I guess I'd prefer to be more overpowered. For lack of want and need for the struggle. Like, I don't like the struggle bus. I want to be able to feel like I can accomplish something.
I'm with you there. It's like I get the thought process of like having that challenge, but after a certain amount of time, I don't want that challenge anymore. I don't want to have, like you said, the struggle. I just want to be able to complete and feel like everything I've worked towards, there's payoff to it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I want it to mean something more than like, hey, you're slightly stronger than the NPC.
Right.
There's only so much of a like learning curve. Like, you feel like I've gotten this far through the game, so I shouldn't have to be learning anymore. I should just be able to move forward.
Well, some games you got to be careful because you have creators like Hideo Kojima who will introduce new mechanics to you at like hour 9.
Yeah. They're good at that.
But, just it's nice to be able to spend the time in the game and then know that, okay, all this work is, for naught. It's not for naught.
Right,
Whereas
exactly. What you did was worth something.
it was, yeah, you didn't waste your time. So as something like, let's say, Assassin's Creed, in I think Valhalla does this, and I think Odyssey too, if I remember right, where you can skip some of the earlier sections and you can just keep going. But when you come back, those level 3s are now like they've scaled up to your level. So you're not coming
Yes.
back and just wiping the floor with them. They're now harder. And for some, I can understand, like I said earlier, I can understand that. But for me, I know that's an easy place. Why would I want to come back and after I've played, however many hours of the game, I am super strong. I have some great equipment. Why would I want to come back to this place and make it feel like, okay, now I have to just run through it because holy crap, I don't want to deal with these people right now. I want to be able to just walk through, slice them, and they're dead.
Right. I mean, I came back to that area for a reason to be, easier. I didn't come back. If I wanted to get a challenge, I'd go to a place that I know is more challenging.
Right. And I think Valhalla has an option where you can actually turn that off, or at least I think it's not as severe. So like if you come back to a level 3 area instead of being like a level 18, if you're a 20, it's more like you're level 5. It only goes up so much versus kind of make it a challenge for you, which
something a little smoother.
Great,
yeah,
but no, just leave it to where they were.
right. It's like
because what's the point? If you are having them scale up with you, then what was the point of actually leveling up in the first place? Because they're always going to be that difficult.
Exactly. And like in a way to relate it to something that I've been accustomed to, like the dance world and competition. Like we used to, it was bronze, silver, high silver, gold, high gold. Like high gold was like, oh my gosh, I like made it. I did really good. Then it turned to silver, high silver, gold, high gold, platinum. Oh my gosh, you got platinum. That's amazing. Now every competition's different and you're getting like the last one we went to was like I think it was like sapphire, emerald, ruby, diamond.
I didn't know there was anything under ruby.
Yeah.
There's stuff under the ruby.
So like you've got these layers that they don't even use, but it's like, oh, we've got them. And then you're just continually moving up. And so you're moving farther and farther away from what like the normal was. And like there's ones that we've got to where it's like star ratings and it's like, okay, 4 stars, 4 3/4 stars, 5 stars, 5-star elite. But then when everybody gets like 4 3/4 stars or 5 stars, it's like
what's the
how
power?
much
What's the worth? Yeah.
do you get out of like I got a 5-star?
Yeah.
If everybody's getting 5 stars, like yeah.
The one thing I was I guess not confused about, but it's like with the one that I went to with you guys, they had the ruby, the diamond, and the blue diamond. Why not just go gold, silver, bronze, or platinum, gold, silver, bronze? I don't.
And like every competition is they're all like gotta be different. And then you also have the ones where they try to be kind of cutesy with their theme. So this was the royal dance competition. And so since it was royalty, like
diamond.
you could, the title competition, you were competing to be the royal queen, king, prince, and princess, depending on like what level that you were competing at. And then there's like the different levels, petite, junior, teen, and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And so there was one that we did when COVID started that was like an all online, and it was all like flight based. So you had like private charter and
What?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
world traveler, and like
Yeah.
it was, you were like, what do these even mean? And so you gotta like
Right,
dig around on their website to find out the point scale to be like,
At
so
some
was
point,
this
it just
higher than
loses
that one?
all meaning.
because they're just like, well, this is what our competition is named, so we're gonna create these levels, and then like you have to go and find like what is it even worth that I got? Like, did I? And one thing that I try to portray to my students is that it's not about what you get out of it. Like, it's not about the medal. It's not about the ranking.
Oh, yeah.
It's always about doing better than you did last time, and that you're gaining critiques to become a better dancer.
Right.
And so, in a way, it's like when you have these things that have levels up and all of that, it's like, what are you gaining out of it? So if you're just gaining levels to gain levels because, you know, in Destiny, you got to have a bajillion and a half light levels to help you be able to even
Right.
do such and such. Like, what's it even worth when you're into that high of a number, that high of a category? Because at that point, it's
Yeah.
like you've just lost all meaning as to like where you're at. And then when you're adding in like, oh, my character is this level, but because I have this chest plate on and this helmet and this paint job on my gun, I'm such and such light level now because I've added all these things. And it's like, well, you didn't even gain that. Like, you just picked that shit up off the ground. And or you paid real money, so
Oh, yes.
like, that's the kind of stuff that annoys me out of it. It's like, you know, you didn't even earn that. You just bought that so you can beat the crap out of somebody who's actually trying to do this legitimately. And then it takes the fun out of the game for those people because they're like, I don't even have a chance to try this game because I don't have that kind of money to just drop on a game. Like, I had the money
Right.
to buy the game. I don't have that kind of money to buy the extra stuff on top of it. I'm just using the diamonds that I get in the rare, like, 2 weeks that it just shows up. Like, that's
Right.
the kind
Like,
of stuff.
you don't have as much of the free time to spend, so you're playing little what you can. You don't have the money to be able to spend like some of these whales do in like these games. So, you know, sure, the developers are getting the money for these people who are spending buku amounts of bucks on it, but you know, the experience for those who aren't paying all that money gets I won't say ruined, but you know, it changes.
It gets watered down.
Yeah.
It
So
almost
like,
feels not non-useful, useless.
yeah, so like you can, you know, be Superman in that regard, but you didn't do anything other than toss them money, which for some people, if that's what they want to do, fine. But when you run into like a, you know, multiplayer game, then things kind of change because now you're affecting more than just your own game.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think we're all pretty much in agreement that the game should not skill up with you and that game should let you be overpowered.
Listen, I want to be Superman. I want to be Batman. I'm playing the game,
I prefer to be
to-
Spider-Man, thank you.
or Spider-Man. Like, I'm playing the game to not, to not be real life. Like, be what I can't be. So,
Oh, right.
I want to
yeah.
fly and punch your head off your shoulders.
Right. Well, I think we had a lot to talk about today. So let's go ahead and finish this can of Truly and get on out of here. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't yet, go and click that subscribe button down there or up there, wherever it's at on your screen. Did you enjoy the conversation? Let us know. Send us your questions, topics, and corrections to .exe at savingcontent.com or leave us a comment over on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Just search at Saving Content. If you're handy with the search features on those sites, should be easy enough to find us. If you're looking for additional in-depth gaming discussions, check out the Quick Save podcast. It's been a little bit since those guys have recorded, but they've got a backlog of some great episodes, some good discussions, and a few brackets here and there. I also want to remind you guys to visit savingcontent.com for the latest news and reviews. Let me scroll through here and see what we've had most recently. I know Scott did, what was it, Instruments of Destruction. There was an early access preview. We also had one from, I think, Scott also on Myth Force early access. Yeah, that was Scott also. Some good stuff there. Last episode, we did a candy bracket. If you want to go give us your hot takes on candy and how Reese's Pieces was the actual true winner of that, let us know. So I also want to make real quick mention that Saving Content here is on YouTube. Our podcasts get posted up there along with video game previews, reviews, trailers, and original content. Then finally, leave us a rating and a review. You can do it right in your podcast app, and you can give us 5 stars because 5 stars, we're that good. And be sure to tell all your friends about us, the .exe crew. It'll help us grow, and we would really appreciate it. So I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank Eric for joining. And I want to thank our lovely guest, Des, for being on this wonderful podcast with us.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So you'll have to come back because I said anytime.
Yes.
And remember, kindness costs us nothing, but it means everything. Good night.
Good night.